Hi, everyone. Blake and I return with a preview of this year's F1 season. He and I discuss the 5 teams who've debuted their liveries thus far. We start by catching up, which leads into our plans to attend Watches and Wonders. Stay tuned for several sidebars into some fashion talk and Lewis Hamilton's non-alcoholic beverage. I'm your host, Wesley Smith, and you're listening to the F1 Podcast.
Wow. So it's been like I went running today with no coat on, and
Wow.
I felt awesome. So,
That's sick.
um, yeah, yeah. How are you
I
doing, man?
I'm good. I just started doing this like app. I'll cut all this out obviously on my end here, but it's called the Better Me app. So I've like since Kaya's been born, I've had a very difficult time trying to find time to work out.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so there are these like 30-minute workouts that are completely just body weight exercises, stretches, like push-ups, burpees, like
yeah, yeah,
crunches, all sorts of stuff. Some stuff I've done a lot of in the past, and some stuff I've never seen someone do like that before.
yeah, yeah.
And so I'm like, I don't know, 17 days into it. And it feels good just to bang it out in 25 minutes. Somebody tells you what to do, and then you move on with your day.
Dude, a little bit of that, it like just goes such a long way, like mentally, even, I think,
Yes. Oh God, such a good point.
Like it's crazy. I mean, if I go more than like a few days without getting out, I can feel myself like getting grumpier and in a bed. Like it's just like, and then I know like I gotta get out. I gotta do something. I gotta move around. I gotta,
Yeah.
you
Maybe
know,
I'll
it's
leave this in. Maybe somebody needs to hear this, you know?
somebody needs to hear it. It's okay.
I'm
Yeah,
not paid to say this, but the Better Me app has made me feel like a better me.
there you go. Yeah, it's that and like having a gratitude journal to like write down things that I'm like grateful for, and I think like kind of setting aside time to kind of focus on that is really
Hmm.
mentally helpful for me as well. And then it will also kind of remind me to like check in with people or say hi or send a random text or something like that.
I love that, man. Yeah,
So
I used to listen to a ton of Tim Ferriss, and he would always talk about, I think it was called the 5 Minute Journal in the morning.
yeah, yeah,
I think a gratitude journal, I've done something similar in the past. Anyway, I used to do it at night before bedtime so that I could at
yeah.
least go to bed in like a really positive frame of mind.
Yeah, I think that's a good practice, right? You kind of process everything that's happened throughout the day, and
Yeah.
it helps you fall asleep a little better. I don't know.
Well, I think it's
Look,
also
everybody
like,
finds their own thing, and like, I think that's important to do. But it's you, especially with having a newborn kid, like you have to carve out, even if it's a small little bit of time for your own kind of like, how am
yeah,
I doing, kind of a thing, you know?
yeah. So I think that app combined with like our afternoon walks in her stroller and stuff, I think
Yeah,
I definitely feel stronger, that's for sure. And then like the days, during the weekends, I can still make it to the gym and stuff. But like,
yeah.
I mean, I typically work. I may not look like it, but I work out like 6 days a week.
Yeah, you may not realize if this is
Yeah,
what peak
yeah,
physical fitness looks
yeah.
like.
When you're looking at a 46-year-old body, there is a six pack under there somewhere.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Yeah. So I enjoy a few beers on the weekend, whatever.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
can still get out and crush a 10K.
Yeah, 800 calories of 2 IPAs. It's
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
all for naught, but whatever.
exactly. You know what I did this morning?
Tell me you drank an IPA.
I did not drink an IPA. Maybe this afternoon. I'll do that. I booked my trip, my travel to Geneva for Watches and Wonders because the formal invite came through this morning
Yep.
from the show, and um, I was kind of waffling about going or not,
Really?
and
Why would you not go? Just
I mean,
like
it's a
it's
lot.
expensive. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's like, look, it's a lot. Like it's something that it's a kind of a stressful thing. I've
Yeah.
been doing these for a long time,
Yeah.
and I've always thought like one year I'm gonna just like take off and not deal with the
Right.
stress because it's a lot. And this year I've got that Brooklyn Half Marathon like the week after the show, and I thought
Oh,
like
man.
maybe I'll stick around here and just keep my body in a good spot. But then like when you start thinking about it. you get excited because there's some fun elements to it as well, and like seeing people and
Sure.
being a part of like seeing the watches and relationships with brands, all that kind of stuff. Like it gets you kind of excited about it. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I was like, okay, I'll head over there. So I think I'll only do like 4 days there at the show
Yeah.
and do the meetings that I need to, and then get back at a good time. And it'll be good because it'll kind of shift my body into being like in my hours will feel early mornings, I'll be like ready to roll. So the week after, because the marathon starts at like 7, 6 in the morning, 7 in the morning, whatever. So my body will be like, all right, I'm ready to, I'm ready to roll. So I'm
Yeah,
going to try and use it
you're
to
like
my
it's
advantage.
lunchtime, like
Yeah, exactly,
that's
exactly.
great.
So
Yeah, use that jet lag to your advantage there. That's for sure.
yeah, yeah.
Maybe a cheat code you find it. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the pro move. In one morning or afternoon, I don't know, I'll carve out maybe a couple to run along the waterfront there.
Mhm.
Yeah, because the hotel, if you cut straight down to the water, kind of right by along where President Wilson Hotel is, and then there's a nice little route like all along the lake and over the bridge. So it'd be a nice way to get a few miles
Well, maybe
in
I'll
that
bring
way.
my
So
shoes and go with you.
we do a nice morning run or afternoon run, something like that.
I might,
Um,
do a U-turn halfway through, but that's on you.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, exactly. So you're gonna be there. Have you
First
ever done
time.
one of these? Okay.
First
Because
time.
when you mentioned this to me, I was like, "What are you crazy? Like, what are you doing to yourself here?"
Yeah.
But it is an exciting thing, and it's a good place. Like, there's a lot of energy, a lot of people there, so it's a good place to like be, even if you're like kind of tangential to the space, or if you're not like formally covering it for a publication or something like that. And I know a lot of people, I guess, that are that do that. Either they're like a guest of the brand, or they're just somebody that like likes watches, a collector or something like
Yeah.
that. And obviously you're kind of like just
I'm sort
tangential
of
to
yeah,
the industry. So I think it'll be a great time. Are you excited?
I'm thrilled. It's something I've wanted to do for years,
Yeah,
and either haven't been able to because of like previous jobs that I had had, or, the pandemic.
yeah, yeah,
And then, last year I didn't go because Kaya was like on the brink of being born. Um, and so anyway, yeah, I'm super thrilled. I knew I was going to go with a bit of a pointed purpose, and there's specific brands I want to see. Like, will it be cool to see the Rolex booth? I'm sure, but I that's not why I'm there. I'm there to see, like, our mutual friends and family. you know.
yeah, yeah. It is
Um,
kind of that because this is kind of like a small world to a certain extent,
yeah.
and if you're a person that like you create content,
Mhm.
it's like a part of your livelihood for this, and it's a great place to be if you create any kind of content at
Yeah,
all
and
around the watch world. So.
I'm going to be going the press days only. Like, I'm not going during the public days.
Oh yeah, you'd have to be a
So
total psycho to do that to do that.
yeah, so and there's, like I said, there's like a certain four brands that I'm going to see. Now, if a fifth or sixth pops up, which it's almost inevitable that that's going to happen.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's going to be exciting. I hear the show just continuously grows, so it's just massive and overwhelming. Um, I was trying to schedule actually a manufacturer tour, but I don't know that that's going to be in the cards just time wise. I think I might need to be at the show the entire time.
It's
Um,
tough, and then getting out and into the town is there's always some kind of drama around it, and
okay.
because some of the brands will do like they'll take like a bus tour out to their manufacturer, but it'll eat up like almost your entire day.
Yeah, that's kind
It has the
of
potential to. So
Yeah, that's kind of what I've anticipated. And then, of course, surrounding the show, you got breakfast, you got coffees, you got beers, you got
yeah, yeah.
$18 sausages or whatever they are. Um,
Well, there's the time to watch is whatever that's called. It's like right next to it. They have like a sausage beer garden little thing like kind of
oh,
right
cool.
outside it, which is like just right next to the Palexpo
Okay.
center. So that will be another thing that I think will be worth it to maybe spend a couple hours just like wandering through
Oh,
because you'll find
interesting.
really cool brands. You'll find and like Zin and other kind of cool brands like that are
Yeah.
exhibit there as well.
Yeah. yeah, not to put the cart before the horse, but I've been in touch with Max Busser, so I'm gonna go see him.
Yeah,
Um,
that's another worthwhile trip to make out to the house there, which is a little bit out of the way, but not too. It's not like you're going to another town or something like
yeah,
that.
I've actually been to Madhouse before, but
Oh, you have, so you know
yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
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 yeah.
yeah, yeah. But the thing is I think they're doing their little showcase thing at the Mad Gallery.
Oh,
Um,
that's much
my
easier. Yeah,
understanding. So
yeah,
right in Old Town, so
yeah.
walkable from whatever my Airbnb will be. We've obviously talked offline about, potentially getting a place together, but I think Tony Traina and I might share a spot. Stephen Pulverant is kind of waiting to hear back, I think, from a couple brands on whether he would be down to
Yeah.
clown, so to speak.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I've actually already booked one just for myself,
Yeah.
just to be safe, right?
Dude, that's awesome. I mean,
But
if you'll have me, I'll come and hang
oh, of course. Well,
anytime.
no,
And
we're
we'll have to
hanging
record.
regardless.
We'll,
Yeah,
we'll have to do
yeah.
that. Hopefully, the Tony the T Man is there, and we can all do some stuff together. I think would be great.
Well, I think, it'd be really interesting to do sort of a download, even with Steven, like the four of us or the
Yeah.
three of us for sure.
Yeah.
Regardless, you and I will definitely, I'll have all my equipment, obviously, because of the content creation that I'll be doing. So, anyway, yeah, that's just a very long-winded way of saying yes, I'm super excited.
So people that follow you and listen to you, this is you being like, hey, I'm going to start covering more like of the watch world or taking that world, like you're going to see more of it from you. I think you've
Yeah.
always kind of incorporated that element of things, I guess, into your outlet, I suppose, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, just attending Watches and Wonders, or excuse me, Wind Up Watch Fair, and selling the brand that way, is like, or at least presenting the brand that way, I guess I should say. Um, it. So I've been tangential to the industry for years,
Yeah.
and really it was just through the podcast that I really kind of garnered kind of the followership, I guess, within the community that almost supersedes that of the car world, which is kind of funny because all the all the design inspiration pretty much comes from automotive, right? With like the paint colors being the colors of the t-shirts and such. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I
Yeah.
have some like fun stuff I want to do involving cars this year. A couple video things. Actually, there's something you and I need to talk about offline that
Right
may
on.
or may not involve a dealership. So that would be kind of cool.
Cool, man.
Yeah. Anyway, much more about the
Yeah.
crossover later. So
Yeah, and all
do
those
stay
worlds are
tuned.
so overlapped, right?
Yeah,
And that's why we like to talk about F1 on
totally.
this kind of stuff. And obviously, more and more watch brands are like, involved or taking their involvement in F1 seriously. Um, and there's the stuff that I can't talk about yet. But I know some new brands that are coming into the space that haven't been in it before. I think it's definitely at that stage where the sport is like, it's like cross that line of like, oh,
Yeah.
this is like the it thing to kind of like try and get into right now. And I wonder, maybe this is worth talking about, like how watch brands can like best take advantage of being a part of the sport and like what makes sense for a watch brand
Yeah.
to be a part of it beyond the having your brand on the car and like
Hmm.
maybe the watch on the wrist of a driver after the race or something like that. Um, like it's more than just pure visibility. I suppose
Hmm.
that's like a big part of it, right? But like how they activate it, how they release product around it, how they take advantage of that. I know some brands have done that in the past. Some brands are maybe better than others. Um, and then some brands, it's just kind of like, oh, I've got my name on the car. That's that. Kind of a situation.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting thing because now we're almost speaking like of about apparel, right? Like in my world. So it's kind of an interesting thing you see in the NBA, you see it in the NFL where like these guys come through the tunnel wearing these crazy outfits sometimes and sometimes not, sometimes it's just sweatpants or shorts or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
But then everybody's clocking everything they're wearing, like head to toe,
yeah,
what sneakers does LeBron have on, or like what loafers are, does Russell Westbrook wear? Or then you look at, something like uh Lando sporting a Richard Mille, but then Charles Leclerc does too. So it's like you've got this Ferrari McLaren thing, And I think the association with, like, you look at NBA players, you look at F1 stars, do I want to wear that so that I feel like them? Well, if you're into Richard Mille, you can kind of buy anything you want, it
Yeah.
seems, right? Whereas, like, historically, no disrespect to Oris, but, like, Oris was a part of Williams for years, and it
Yeah.
was like those are really approachable watches and beautiful watches and a big bang for your buck, right?
Dude, I was giving trouble to Josh Shanks about this a couple of months ago because they've had their branding on like endurance racing prototype cars, and then as you mentioned, Williams
NASCAR,
as as well.
yeah,
And Josh himself is a huge
huge
racing
car guy. Yeah,
fan
yep,
of kind of like all stripes. So I was like,
seriously.
what's up? We got to get some more Oris representation on some of these brands. But I feel like back then it was maybe a different kind of a ball game to be a part of
I
than
think
it is right
financially,
now.
for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I even wondered, so as we record this, I think just this morning or overnight, the Mercedes car was revealed its livery for the season, and they have a new sponsor, Microsoft. And I noticed that looked at the front wing, which used to be exclusively owned by IWC. It now shares that space with with Microsoft, and I was wondering, like, how do they deal with? Is it kind of like where the brand, Mercedes is like, it's still going to cost the same, or were they like, I'm not paying as much because I'm relegated to a smaller part of the end plate? I don't know how that stuff works.
This is fascinating you bring this up because I had a little note on about seeing it this morning when I woke up. That was like one of the first things I did. I was like, what does the Mercedes car look like? Part of that's knowing because we were going to record today, but
Sure, sure.
it's one of those things where I was looking at the end plate and there's almost like a little a winglet on
Like
the
a
end plate.
canard kind of a thing. Yeah.
There's so at certain angles that little canard kind of disrupts the visibility
Yeah.
of the IWC
It
logo.
almost looks like it's a strike through of the
Yes,
logo
it looks like,
itself.
yeah, it looks like they're like redesigned the logo with like a black stripe through the horizontally right down the middle. But you know, to your point about, do you pay a fraction of the price because you're sharing the space? Well, then you also got to calculate how big is the end plate now versus the old one? And is the logo the same size? Is
Dude,
it
and that end plate is like tucked in a little bit further. It's not like hanging out off the edge at the edge of the wheel. Like it's kind of on the inside
IWC
corner
was
of the
in
wheel.
like every photo of that car before,
Yeah, yeah.
you know?
And a part of me also though was wondering because the Microsoft logo has the like Windows icon with like a little, it's like four colors,
Yeah,
and it's like, is that going to be more of a visual draw to get your eye to that end plate? Which will maybe then be
interesting.
an okay thing for IWC. I don't know. And honestly, like speaking of all the like little winglets and all that kind of stuff, we don't really know what the
What the
actual
final product,
aerodynamics
yeah,
of these
yeah,
things
yeah,
are going to be. I think what we're seeing now is largely just this is the paint job
yeah.
and like what it's going to look like, but all the little details around the edge, the barge boards, the wings, and all that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
Who knows? What it's going to be like.
Well, what did you
But
think of the mock-up, just in
I
general?
mean, I thought it was sharp. I thought it's I think it's pretty cool from like the top down angle,
Same, yeah.
which is with the kind of like winged AMG type logo situation going on there. I think it's really cool. A part of it looks like from the side. I was like, oh, it looks like the Adidas.
Oh, with the stripes. Oh,
Three
that's
stripes a
funny.
little bit, but like seeing it from like a three-quarter view up top, I think is really cool. And I think overall the delivery looks pretty good.
Have you heard about the I guess I don't want to say controversy, but about the engine for Mercedes?
Yeah,
Have you heard about this?
yep. Yeah. Yeah. So this year, part of the new regulation set was a lowering of the compression ratio from 18 to 1 to 16 to 1. And we don't need to get into the dynamics of what the compression ratio is or means, but a higher one means you're able to kind of pack a little more bang into that cylinder,
Yep.
right? By compressing more air and fuel together before the combustion cycle. And so with them lowering it to 16 to 1, and then now there's the controversy about like when that measurement is taken
Right.
versus when, and I think this opens up a whole other kind of like interesting line of discussion because every part of the car, like this is just physics,
Hmm.
kind of changes when it's like under load, when it's under different like temperature,
Sure.
when wind is flowing over a wing a certain way, it's going to be shaped a little bit. Like almost every part of the car changes a little bit, and they have no way of obviously like measuring it, I guess, when it's
Right, right, right.
full bore going down the straight or something like that. But yeah, the Mercedes and apparently the Ford and Red Bull partnership maybe also figured out a way to, when it is under load and when it is at that temperature, raise the compression ratio back up
Yeah,
to
the thermal
uh, to
expansion
to
makes
to,
it
to 18 to 1.
go back to 18 to 1,
Yeah.
which by all estimations is 3/10 of a second per lap.
Yeah, it could potentially be like all of the things being equal, like assuming all the cars were like at the same weight and all that kind of
Mhm,
stuff, which
mhm.
I don't
Yeah.
think they will be like right out of the gate. But I think it certainly brings up an interesting like how brands view the rule book, kind of from a like as a whole. Like, okay, this is I'm going to take it to the letter, or is it kind of like I'm kind of take this for what it is at face value, and then kind of find my ways around it, which I think has always been a part of
Yeah,
F1.
it's long been a creative approach to racing, for decades.
Yeah.
It's give me the rule book and let me see what I can do outside of that because it isn't mentioned.
So I think with in hearing how like Audi and some of the other teams have had a big problem, obviously, with Mercedes engines being allowed to continue,
Hmm.
and the Mercedes engines will be in a handful of cars, including the Alpine team now, as they
Mm.
are moving away from their Renault engines. So obviously McLaren, like some of the big teams,
Yeah.
and Mercedes themselves. So uh, other teams, I think, are rightfully kind of like protesting. I feel like the when the teams are in the process of development or ideating some of these things, they bring in the FIA along the way. Say, hey, here's kind of what we're doing. Is this okay?
Are we
And
okay? Yeah.
like to
The
kind of
the
get the check
parents,
mark that
yeah.
they need, and
Yeah.
maybe they don't word it exactly accurately, or this is to this end goal, but it's kind of
Yeah.
like I think it's not like kind of you know, here's our engine. We hope it passes after they finish it. Like, no, I think the FIA are like every step of the way, kind of like saying, yep, yep, yep. Maybe not every step of the way, but are brought in at least to confirm, yes, this is okay. Because if you can't spend, years developing an engine like this, and then at the
No.
last minute being like, oh, that's not gonna like what are you gonna do? You can't just like take all that back and start from square one.
Yeah.
So I sympathize with the Audis of the world and the Ferraris and all that kind of stuff. But at the other hand, it's like, well, you should have thought of it.
Right.
And I'm sure somebody on their end is like, oh yeah, why didn't we think of that or something, and with Honda kind of like half in, half out of the
Hmm.
sport within the last few years, and now they're going to be with Aston Martin. I think they really kind of shot themselves in the foot
Yeah.
by with their like kind of non-committal kind of attitude towards the sport, which is going to end up like I think hurting them for at least a little while. And it
Yeah.
sounds like their car is going to be a little overweight too right off the bat. So I mean, it just kind of further reinforces that yeah, the first like half of the season is going to be like all over the map.
Yeah.
I think
Which makes it exciting, for people
yeah,
like us.
yeah,
I mean, the big news is Audi, right? Like, I mean,
yeah.
them joining the grid. Well, obviously Cadillac as well, but TBD on that. But I think the livery looks good. I think the announcement car livery looked better. I don't know if you remember that. It had just a lot more
Yeah, right. It's not
intricacies
too
in the
far
design.
off, but it's
It's
like kind of in the same neighborhood.
Yeah, broad
But
strokes are there, but
yeah,
I so it does look good. The apparel does not. You mentioned Adidas a moment ago. Yeah,
yeah.
the apparel looks terrible. Those guys looked awful on stage.
Did you see though when they posted like to their Instagram? I don't know, like a joke shot or something like that with like all the parts of the members of the team in these like black tracksuits, like kneeling down,
No, I didn't see
like kind of
that.
doing the squat, like the
Like a hip hop
stereotypical.
video from 1994.
Yeah, or like the Eastern European dudes in their
Oh, okay,
tracksuits.
sure, sure.
Like they were all like doing that in the suits. So it's like, oh my God, you
Oh
guys.
my God, dude. I was like, wow, the car looks cool. Too bad their uniforms don't, or like their matching kits,
Yeah. Oh
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
anyway,
yeah. No, I
Adidas is
feel you
better
there.
than that. Adidas is better than that for sure.
It's all better
Um,
than like the lime green steak stuff, though, right?
no doubt. No doubt. I'm sure Nico Hulkenberg is doing just fine, with the Audi mark on his chest. I think
Yeah.
also what's interesting about this, and this is obviously not a new discussion, but how entering F1 is going to affect road car sales and like which quite frankly for those listening the way they name their chassis are very oftentimes like, Ferrari is Scuderia Ferrari. So it's always SF, 24 for 2024, like whatever the year is usually. There's like, but Audi went with R26, which is really just named after the R8. It was named after one of their own sort of successful racing cars, which
Yeah,
I think is really cool. And
yeah.
Rennsport, like you could tie it back into Rennsport.
I like
Um,
that. I thought of that. I was thinking about that as well because it's a nomenclature that they've stuck to through all of their sports car racing
yep,
series. Like even
I
their
think it's
prototype
cool.
racing in Le Mans have all followed the same
Hmm.
the same trend here, which I like seeing, and it's kind of a reminder that,
Yep,
oh, these guys are pretty successful at this racing stuff in like
yeah,
all kinds of disciplines,
extremely.
and
Yes,
this is kind of like a nod to that. I mean, I don't expect them to be competitive like right out of the gates this season,
right.
but I do take them seriously when they're like, we want to be fighting for championships by 2030. Like they're a mature enough outfit when it comes to successful racing that I do think, okay, I'll take them at their word. I think there's some merit to that, and I think they know how to do that, especially seeing some of the turnaround that the stake team had made
Hmm.
coming like kind of at the closing stretches of last season. Like it wasn't like a laughable team anymore. They were, fighting for points in races and
Yeah.
getting points. Like they weren't like
Didn't
back
Nico get
markers.
on a podium? I mean,
Nico
for
got
like
a podium at
first,
Silverstone
like in like the first time, and I don't know, it was like
ever.
400 races or something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, yeah. That and what a bit. Yeah, and I love that for him.
huge moment for
And
him.
he's such a solid racer. I'm curious to see how the relationship develops long term. Obviously, he's no spring chicken anymore.
Oh no, I totally
You
see
know,
like a Mark Webber with Porsche type of relationship.
yeah, and they've got Bortoletto who showed a lot of promise last year, kind of opposite him. So hopefully he's learning a lot
Yeah.
in the process. And I don't know what their kind of driver pipeline looks like.
When is the next regulation reset? Is it
Well,
2030?
uh, let's see
I
here.
wonder if Audi knows something we don't, in other words. Like, would they
I
be
think
competing for championships because they're already working on those regs?
Yeah, I feel like I want to say like the year prior, but it could be like kind of the
Yeah.
not like a massive change,
Yeah.
but with all the rumors, last year, like let's like ditch all this hybrid stuff and just go back to a V8 or V10, and people were like starting to maybe take it seriously. I
So
think they had
sick.
meetings around.
God
So now I'm
knows.
like, who knows? Like all bets are off. Maybe they just kind of like ditch it all, like and go a totally different direction. But at the same time, like that's why Audi is in it in the first place. That's why, because all of these brands that make road cars, they want to be a part of developing like the future
Hmm.
technologies that make this stuff work, right?
Yeah.
And hybrid vehicles, or sell at a certain clip. Maybe I don't know what the comparison is to like traditional internal combustion type stuff.
Yeah.
But obviously, it's enough for where they're going to be like, if we're going to commit to doing this, it has to be because of we're developing, these hybrid units that will have some relevancy to our road cars at some point, right?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, it's an exciting time for them for sure. Um, I'm excited to see the Ferrari car. I think I saw Charles' new helmet design. He's like, same red, more
Yeah,
baby blue, he said, I think in his post. And his helmet looks pretty killer.
yeah, yeah,
What do you think of the
absolutely.
Red Bull cars? I like the glossy finish, man. I like them shiny.
I so Yeah, I do too. I think
I
the
was
livery
kind of
looks really
getting over
cool.
the matte look. Like it just is kind of getting long in the tooth.
Yeah, it was cool. Like I think when it first came out and all that, but it was ready for a change. So I think this change feels really good.
Yeah.
The car itself looks interesting.
Hmm.
Like it looks like I don't know, more than just kind of like the standard mule
Hmm.
for liveries. Because they also showed, I think in the last 10 minutes, the Visa Cash
Hmm.
app, the Racing Bulls car, right?
Right.
Like, oh yeah, by the way, that car's over there too, and it was different, right? Like the like some of the wing stuff, the actuators on the front wing, like there was differences in them. So it's kind of like,
Hmm.
what's going on? Like, is this the car that's gonna do testing in Barcelona? I guess it will be. I don't know. I still don't know how much of these you kind of, it's hard to know like what to take seriously, but you do
Yeah.
notice differences in them. What it
Yeah.
means exactly, I don't know. But it's fun
Yeah.
to kind of get speculation going.
Yeah, these livery kind of exhibitions are interesting because like they're not showing what's going to end up on race day,
Yeah.
like they're not going to show their cards like on a freaking stage with 7 million cameras studying every angle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. And in fact, they might just design some goof off wing just to put on that car,
sure.
just to get other teams going, like, what's going on there? Like,
That
should we
doesn't
look
even make
into,
aerodynamic sense.
yeah, exactly. But like, maybe it's so brilliant. We have to look into like who knows. But no, I think the Red Bull car looked awesome. It reminded me of I went to I think it was 2013 Austin GP, which was like the
The first
second
one.
year.
Or yeah, I was going to say
I think yeah, first or
first or
second
second.
one,
Yeah, yeah, it was early.
and it reminded me of the car from that era.
Sure.
And obviously
It was Vettel,
Sebastian
right?
Vettel
Yeah.
was quite good. Mark Webber, I think, was his teammate
Yep.
back then. Obviously, it took a lot of cues from those kind of old school ones. But I went back looking through some of the pictures, and it was like, oh yeah, they had that gigantic Infinity logo on the side of their car.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
like, what is this? Like, what's it
Right.
feels so out of place like now. But everything else about it, yeah, it's like cool. It's like yeah, bright, colorful, fun.
Yeah.
Like I like that. I think it's probably like the best looking car that has been shown so far.
It just looks slick, right? Like air is just going to go right over it.
Go right to it. Yep, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, and it's I'm as we're talking right now, there's still, half a dozen cars that we have not that we've not seen yet. We're kind of like smack in the middle of all this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Last year we did this because they did it like a single event,
I
like
feel
a
like all of
single
them,
evening,
yeah, they all
right?
came out. Wasn't it like not the O2 Arena, but it was like something like that. It was like
I
this
think yeah, it
huge
was
venue
because I remember I was like, "What the hell is this?"
or
And then you
Wembley or
explained in
something.
the
Yeah.
yeah, oh yeah, all the cars at once,
Yeah.
just unveil. Do you prefer it this way, where it's kind of like, okay, that week I have this and this car to look forward to, and then next week I got that car to look forward to, or do you prefer it all just one go,
Just give it to me all in one go and it makes this
just all in one
podcast
go?
way easier.
Yeah, yeah. But now we have different things to look forward to and to
Yeah, that's
speculate
true.
on
We
and
get
all
to
that kind
talk
of
more
stuff.
frequently, I guess.
Yeah, and we so and also as we're doing this, cars are actually hitting the track for their like film days. So
Mm.
like this morning, as the Mercedes car was unveiled, it also like was hitting the track at Silverstone for the first time, and some
Hmm.
some dude like took his drone over the track and parked it up over the start finish area and was like live streaming the car on track for like 20 minutes doing this. So you got to it's
And no one
rainy
noticed?
and it, I mean, I don't know if he was allowed to or if he got in trouble, but like somebody posted it over on Reddit, and I was like,
Something
ooh.
tells me he's got, he's been handcuffed already.
But since it's the filming day, I think it's like it's the same kind of like it's just for the livery. There's nothing on here that is
Okay.
relevant to
Okay.
to the racing. It's like just to kind of get the glamour shots for whatever promotional purposes for the team, right?
Right.
Like throughout the year.
Well, I know
So
like you can't do that at an airport. I guess you can at a racetrack.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. It was interesting though because I think Audi was the first to actually like have their car out on track like a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, and
Hmm.
uh, and somebody had filmed that as well, and you got people trying to brighten things up and see. Yeah, it like that's all part of the fun of like, ooh, what's the cat and mouse game of like this part of the season. It's like because you don't know who's got it, who doesn't, who's going to be on it, who's doing something
Yeah.
different and ridiculous. It's like who knows? Because and this has happened before when new regulation sets enter and you see the kind of like FIA official kind of like rendering or mock-up of the car, but
Hmm.
then other teams will sometimes have like wild interpretations of them. You remember the era where all the pointy noses
Oh,
came
sure.
and
Sure.
and there
Yeah.
were some very odd ones in there kind of thrown in for good, for good measure.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it's just this part of the season's always interesting because like it really does separate like the nerds from like the casual fans because like everybody's just so rabid right now, which is like I I love the energy. Like I love the enthusiasm, all the chit chat, the chatter, the podcasts obviously.
Yeah.
YouTube like explodes. There's like 2-minute videos and 2-hour long videos.
Yep.
It's just it's a lot, but yeah, I just like the enthusiasm personally.
Yeah, me too. Me too. It's fun to get into and kind of see, especially when you, again, when you don't know what's going to happen, and I find that
Yeah.
part really kind of exciting. So, you hear the kind of murmurs at the paddock, like this morning, I think it was Williams, their chassis,
Hmm.
like there's an issue in it, and it's like production or something like that, and they might not even
I
have it
haven't heard
ready
that actually.
for the first couple of races. This is like hours old, like
Wow.
this kind of stuff. I don't know where this kind of thing comes from or who's out there, kind of, if there's journalists kind of like that know people to in the teams that talk to like off the record, or I don't know. I feel like a lot of people also have relationships between different teams because they've often worked for a few of the teams. So like,
Hmm.
oh, my mate over here says this, and he'll tell the reporter guy, and or
Sure.
like our car is underweight, or our car's got this problem, or our engine's looking great, or whatever it is, and then all that stuff starts to just like leak. Leak out. But yeah, that's the latest on the Williams team. And that's
Wow.
like one of the liveries that I'm looking forward to
Yeah.
the most because, I think we were talking about it, the kind of old school
Yeah, I love it.
stuff is coming
Sort of
back
martini
there,
sort of livery.
which is awesome because Williams is obviously a historic, awesome team.
Hmm.
So I hope they're not running into to too many issues there. And then obviously they'll be using that Mercedes engine, which the murmurs for a long time have been like it's going to be a good engine. So
I think Formula One's better when Williams is doing well, which has been ages, right?
yeah.
But still, like, just not last, you know?
Yeah, yeah, I would. Yeah, I
And
want
I
to
don't
see
want that for
them.
Audi either. I mean,
Yeah,
we got an Audi in our garage. Like, I can't be having that.
you can't. I know. Like, come on, man. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy that they're in the sport, um, especially considering that they're not in top level endurance racing
Hmm.
anymore.
Hmm.
So I like seeing them doing stuff like this because
Hmm.
they're historically very good at it,
Yeah.
and are generally pretty fun to watch. So
Yeah.
so I hope they're able to come in and like figure stuff out quickly and be competitive. And yeah, I like I like the kind of all the new elements. Them, obviously the Ford coming back
Right.
into,
Red
Ford's been
Bull.
a big part of F1 going back in the past. They of course owned the Jaguar team way back when, and now to have them kind of building an engine again and having Cadillac also be there
Hmm. Hmm.
is kind of a fun little like, oh, okay, good, this
Detroit
is
story.
yes, like the old kind of like GM kind of competitive and this kind of coming out. I think that's healthy for the American automotive industry as well.
Ford versus GM versus Ferrari.
Come on, and there's, I feel like there's already like shade being thrown, from like the Ford guys over to the Cadillac guys because Cadillac is not using their own in-house engine right off the bat. So
Oh,
the
ouch.
Ford
Yeah.
guys can kind
Yeah.
of like
Yeah.
throw that over at
Yeah.
at them, which I think is funny. But Cadillac is building this like from scratch, a team from scratch basically.
What do you,
So
I'm pumped for the drivers, man. Valtteri and Checo. Like, oh, speaking of drivers and Ford and GM being Cadillac because of the Daniel Ricciardo rumor last year that he may or may not be going to Cadillac, which obviously he's not. But now he's like a Ford brand represent. He's like all about the
dude,
Raptor truck and
Dude, that feels like very much up his alley.
totally.
Because he's kind of
Yeah.
like a guy from Texas at heart, and he loves his trucks and his open
Yeah.
spaces, and so it feels like kind of a natural. It seems like he's just like living his best life right
Yeah.
now,
He's retired from F1 and still making cash. Good for him, man.
still making
And
bank. He gets
his
to like tool around with Max Verstappen driving whatever. Like, come
I
on,
just
yeah,
wish I wish he would do more YouTube videos because his YouTube channel is a lot of fun. I don't
yeah.
know if you've ever watched any of his stuff, but he's
It's been a
riding like
minute, but
mini bikes and like it's just fun, man. He's just a fun guy. Like he's the best.
we need who's like the fun guy now. Well, now we've got Valtteri back.
Well,
He's a fun
yeah,
guy.
he's a fun guy via a haircut. I don't know
Yeah,
that like
yeah. He has a good like sense of humor though, but like
yeah.
who's like the life of the like there's been like since
It
Ricardo
used to
left.
be Lando,
Yeah.
but Lando got serious and won a championship.
Yeah, he's yeah. Yeah, and I don't know. He maybe takes himself a little too seriously compared to Daniel. Like I think Daniel has no problem like ribbing any of the guys
Oh
and like kind
no.
of getting them all like kind of off of their perches or whatever. Maybe like one of these rookies has to kind of fill in. It's like, okay, I want to
Well,
see some
like
personality
I feel like
out of these
Alex
guys.
Albon is like, even though he feels like a goody two shoes, he also seems like a practical joker, like behind the scenes. Like
Yeah.
he's like, it's like the Carlos Sainz when he was on McLaren, like he and Lando would just be like hitting each other in the nuts during their
Yeah.
interviews and stuff.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I like yeah, there's got to be, you know what I'm saying though. Like right,
yeah,
like kind of the heart and soul of like, oh yeah, now I feel like these guys are more than just kind of like cold-blooded machines
yeah,
doing their thing, like focused and locked in,
yeah.
which is fine, and they are, but like there's this other kind of like humanizing element to them. And when Daniel was there, it was like, oh yeah, I want to like go have a beer with that guy,
Yeah,
like we talked
totally.
about last time. Like
Yeah.
you got to find those kinds of guys that kind of make it I don't know, they like pull you in and keep you interested in a different kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
And with these guys, the Lindblads, the Lawsons, the slew of rookies that we have, it's still kind of like I don't know, like we're kind of like waiting to see who these guys are.
Well, Lawson's Australian, right? So I mean, he's bound to be a good time. I mean, those guys are
He,
so relaxed.
I feel like I still feel bad for him for last season,
Mm-hmm.
how that went, him only getting those two races. And I feel like I don't know, like what does that do to you? Like I feel bad. I mean, I'm glad that he still has a seat and that he's able to kind of like prove himself and all
Mm-hmm.
that. Um, but I mean, mentally, like what that would be like to like be
Mm-hmm.
put on that team and then be immediately like, never
Yanked.
mind,
Yeah.
kind of a situation. And then obviously Yuki had the whole
Yuki.
rest of the year and now is, into a reserve role because there's just too much young talent, I guess. I don't know. Were you surprised that Yuki at like his performance throughout the year last year in that Red Bull?
Yeah. I mean, I was, but then again, it's like, look at the bar. You're comparing him to arguably the best driver on the planet, no matter what car he's in. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I mean, Max's talent is just through the roof, and it's like,
And even he was struggling with the car at times
I
last
mean, he was
year.
bitching and complaining the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, again, when you're a perfectionist, that's kind of how you're built.
Yeah.
And especially as a multiple championship winner, like what are you gonna do? He's gonna find something to complain about because it's like Tiger Woods always complains. Like he's always get better. It's like, dude, you're arguably the greatest person to ever hit a golf ball. Like, what are
It's
you bitching
it's
about?
it's that mentality, right? And
It
and
is. It's
and with some of
crazy.
them, I wonder, like with guys like Lewis or Fernando, who I think have very different kind of mentalities. But with Lewis, I kind of feel like if he's not like winning the races,
Hmm.
then I think he kind of has this attitude of like, well, let's just try whatever weird thing we can and see what happens.
Yeah.
But it's like he needs a little momentum going his way to kind of fully like, oh yeah, I can do this, and then he like really gets into it. And
Yeah.
if he loses that momentum, then it just kind of like falls apart. And I hope he doesn't get into that this year because I think he's still got something there. I hope the car is competitive, so we can at least see. But if it's not, and he comes out of the gates and it's like similar to how the last season ended,
Hmm.
I have a hard time seeing him finishing out the season almost.
Oh, really? Yeah, I
Uh,
was gonna say, like, where do you stand on whether or not the performance is good or bad? I look, I'm not crazy optimistic as a Ferrari fan as much as I'd
you
want to
never
be.
can be, right?
Like I just, yeah, you just never. It's like my I went to NC State. I used to joke all the time. We're number one in the nation at recruiting talent and doing nothing with it.
And doing
It's
nothing with
just
it, yeah.
like that's kind of how I feel about Ferrari. So maybe it's me. I'm the common denominator, Blake.
Oh boy, yeah,
But
you,
but
yeah.
but
Sorry, Ferrari.
but yeah, sorry, Wesley Smith likes you.
Yeah.
But it's just like one of those things, like he's 41, whether or not, I don't know, do you think he retires after this year? What do you think?
If that car is shit, I don't think either Charles or Lewis will be on the team going into the
Ooh,
following year.
okay.
Like if I'm Charles, I'm like, I'm
I've
up to
given
here
it all. Yeah,
with
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
And with Lewis, it's like, why, man, why?
Yeah.
I don't know,
$50 million. That's why a year.
yeah, but he's got plenty of that. He's got I
Yeah.
don't know, and like he's such a well-known name, he could start like literally any kind of brand he wanted and sell whatever, and it's gonna do
Well,
well
he's doing that.
because
It's called non-alcoholic tequila, and it's. Have you had it?
I have had it. I like one of them.
Okay.
The others I didn't. I think it's called like El Mave, and there's one
Sure.
kind I can't remember which one it was that I had with like a ball of ice, and I was like, that's not too bad. Yeah,
Really?
yeah, yeah.
I
I'm
just
not a
don't
huge like I'm a
understand the
I,
point.
and let me tell you something too. I'm not a big tequila drinker,
Mm-mm.
and I'm not a guy that's like pouring a glass and drink it. Like if it tasted like if you would have handed me a cup of that,
Mhm.
I wouldn't have been like, oh, that's analogous to tequila. Like tequila wouldn't have even crossed my
Yeah,
mind.
you would have
I would
just
have
thought
been
it's
like, oh,
some other kind of
it's kind of
drink.
like a some not spicy, but kind of like warm,
Hmm.
interesting drink, I guess. Like I wouldn't have known that it was supposed to be like a non-alcoholic version of a booze. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like it's not like, oh, that tastes like tequila, but there's no booze in it. Like, and I guess I don't know, maybe none of them do. But I will say there was one kind that I tried that I did like. So I don't know.
Yeah.
And if he's giving other people options that are not wanting to drink,
Yeah.
then I think that's a great thing.
Sure.
So
Yeah. I smelled both and declined both.
just on smell alone, wow, man.
Yeah. I was
Yeah,
just
I
like,
feel like
this is
it
god awful.
has to be like diluted in because it's almost like a concentrate. Because I think I do remember like drinking it just out of the bottle was like it's too something, but like letting it sit on ice for a bit.
Don't you love the sales pitch? You got to change it in order to drink it.
You got well to look, which is the same thing that I might say for plenty of like
Oh, that's
whiskeys.
fair. Yeah. No,
Like
that's fair.
okay,
Yeah, yeah,
let
yeah,
it
yeah.
let it, and there are plenty of other whiskeys. I'd be like just drink it
Yeah,
neat,
there's some scotch
and that's great,
that
right?
needs a little, yeah.
Like this was not on that level, but I did find it pleasant with some dilution going on. I
Yeah.
think I even put some like a few dashes of Angostura bitters in it as
Okay.
well, and
Okay.
that like kind of brought out some depth. Dude, this is gonna sound crazy, but I was also when I was drinking it, I was thinking, could I make a cocktail with this?
Yeah. It's
Like
called
if
a
I
placebo.
well, no, I'm like could I add some like gin and
Oh,
maybe
right.
some
Add alcohol
bitters.
to it. Oh, I see.
Yeah, yeah, and maybe some like Cointreau, and then it might be something like there could be something there. I think you could make an interesting cocktail out of it. I don't know if that's like against the
Wow,
law
this is like a
with
man.
these things,
This is like a tequila old fashioned type of approach or
but that's what
something.
I'm saying. It didn't
It's
taste
almost
like
like a
tequila.
mezcal though. Yeah, it's
Like I
too
wouldn't I
smoky.
wouldn't like in a Paloma. You if you put that in a Paloma and served it to somebody, they would be like,
What
what
is
the F
this?
is this? They wouldn't say like, oh, that tastes like a Paloma, or a margarita or something like obviously. I mean, I guess if you put enough limes in it, maybe, but
I could just see someone ordering it at a bar and having, one sip and be like, I don't like this. Can I order something else? I never do this. I never
yeah,
return drinks, but
yeah.
I can't drink this. Can I order something else, please?
See, it's the market, and they market, but I don't know if they market it as a tequila, but it's marketed as like an agave-based drink or something like that.
Sure.
So I don't
Yeah.
know,
Well, I think
but
to call it tequila, it has to come from Jalisco, right?
that's my understanding.
Yeah.
But I'm not an expert on tea. Again,
Yeah. I
tequila's a
mean,
little out of my wheelhouse.
yeah.
And I
It's a whole.
take like cocktail mixing, all that kind of stuff pretty seriously. And I do not have a bottle of tequila in my bar right now. I do sometimes, but I generally don't.
Yeah.
Not a tequila guy.
Yeah, me neither. I think I've got a bottle for those who may or may not come over to my house and drink it, but so far no takers. I think
So
that
far, no
bottle's still
takers.
full.
Well, next time you're in New York, come over to my place. I've got all kinds of this stuff that I do make, and I think I can make pretty well.
Yeah,
Do a little cocktail evening,
that'd be
maybe in the
nice.
in the in the in the springtime or in the summer.
Yeah,
I've got my roof up top with the views into Manhattan. It's a great spot to sit and enjoy a cocktail during an evening.
maybe we do our maybe do like the summer break episode on your roof.
Let's do the summer break episode
August.
here with a cocktail in hand. Let's do it.
All right,
Yeah.
fair.
Yeah.
And if we have an event in New York City on the heels of that, maybe, you know,
Yep. We need to do something like that too. Um, or even out in your neck of the woods. I'm happy to come out there as well.
do both.
If you're listening to this and you're in New York or Brooklyn or in Southern California, let us
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. It'd be
I
great.
think it'd be a lot of fun to do a meetup, do a live recording type situation.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, maybe around the season or even around watches, clothes, collecting, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I love it.
I'm
I love it.
still, I'm flipping a coin as to whether or not to do wind up this year in New York. It's, um, it's kind of I don't know. I'll probably be there during that time anyway. Whether or not I have a booth is secondary.
Yeah,
Or maybe I
yeah,
just do another event, maybe talk to James and do it at Analog Shift again. That was pretty good. That was actually a lot of fun. But it was a one night only thing and not all weekend. Wind ups
yeah.
all weekend. So yeah, maybe that's the move. It's a lot less of a commitment financially as well. Um, so
Let's
yeah,
do something there. Yeah.
yeah.
Let's get Lambden looped into one of
Yeah,
these
maybe we do
things
a live podcast with him.
as well. Dude, he's great on the pod and
Oh, we should
he's a
do
big
that.
car guy as well.
Yeah, we should do that.
So, yeah,
I'll
I'm
text him
down.
today with like a you can't plan too far in advance. That's what I've learned. You can always say, "Hey man, let's talk about this closer." Fine. But
Yeah.
let's put the bug in his ear because it's like,
Dude, I'm like a week out kind of guy. But dude, if you put something on my radar like 3 months and then
okay, well, we
you
got
ping me the
August and
night
October.
before,
Yeah.
you're like, hey, you coming to the thing tomorrow? I'm like, what? What are you talking about? Like that'll be me. Like
Well,
that's
it's
me.
funny because I joke all the time. I either need like 6 months or like 6 hours notice because of
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yep,
you want to
yeah,
do dinner tonight? I don't know. What's today? Thursday? Yeah, yeah. Sure. Yeah, I could
yeah,
do dinner
yeah.
tonight.
Let's
You want
do
to do
it.
dinner next Thursday? Oh no, dude, I don't have a Thursday for 4 months.
Yeah. If it's next month, I don't. I'm like, I don't know. That might as well be like next year. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
This is a. 'Cause my mom will come down on me about like planning for the holiday
Oh,
around
sure.
travel,
Yeah.
like already around like this time of year, for months in advance. I'm like,
Yeah.
you can't talk to me about that yet. I don't know. That's not on my like horizon
You're not planning Labor Day yet?
of you of you. So, and honestly, like in this business, there are things that can come up. Like sometimes with like just a couple weeks notice, and I'll be in wherever part of the world because a watch brand is
Well,
doing something, and like I kind of have to be relatively flexible for that kind of
our
stuff as
San
well.
Francisco event. I mean, that was like, we
Yeah.
talked for a while about what to do, what to do, what to do, but I would say it's fair to say that that kind of culminated really just like in the last like 3 weeks.
Yeah, yeah, I've kind of okay.
Prior
This is gonna
prior to the event,
happen.
you know what I
Yep,
mean? Like with invitations and, awareness.
dude, and I don't mind that.
Yeah.
I operate pretty well by the seat of my pants. I think sometimes. So,
Yeah, same.
um, so yeah, I'm all about
Yeah,
it.
hold my feet to the fire or just like, give me
Yeah.
6 months notice.
So we're not what are we? We're a few weeks from testing.
Yep.
It's there's a I think there's a bunch of test days that will not be made public. We won't be able to watch or anything like that.
Right.
I wonder what kind of things will make it out. Like, oh, that car looked really good, or that car looked like
Oh,
crap,
yeah,
or
yeah, yeah.
whatever. I'm sure some of that kind of stuff will. But then formally, it starts in Bahrain,
Mm-hmm.
right? But that's in February. That's like February 10th, 12th,
I
something
feel
like
like
that.
it's mid Feb, somewhere around there. So
Because the
what
first
is
race,
that?
Austria,
That's 3 weeks.
in three
Yeah,
weeks,
three,
yeah.
4 weeks. Yeah.
Because Australia is still like the first week of May, I want to say.
Is it that late?
Yeah.
Not April? Okay. Because I
Or
remember like Memorial
no,
Day
sorry,
weekend was
sorry,
always
of
Monaco.
March.
Oh, March. I was
Oh
like, I was thinking it
yeah,
was like early April.
sorry, in my head, yeah. Um, March, the first like March 4th, 5th, 6th, I think
It's too bad we're not on a computer and can't look this up.
is the Austrian. Yeah, right. So this is if you're listening, you can tell that we're not reading off of
Yeah, yeah.
scripts
This
and
is
have
completely
all this
unprompted.
information right next to us.
Yeah.
This is literally the discussion that Wes and I would be having, sat at the corner of a bar over a
That's right.
beer with nothing in front of us, and you're getting
Okay,
excited.
so here we go. Bahrain testing 11 to 13 Feb, and then 18 to 20 Feb. Oh no, more testing. Round one, Australia, 6th to 8th of March.
Okay. So there we go. And I think only that last bit of testing will be like televised as well.
Mm.
And I think that's still getting sorted out if you're like an F1 TV subscriber, because
Hmm.
that's all switching over to Apple. I don't know what that's going to be like, but
Oh,
yeah,
that's right. The Apple deal. I forgot about that.
yeah,
Huge, huge move.
yeah. I mean, it was. I don't mind. It's like I already have one of those things and watch. I don't know, whatever. There's like a couple shows that my wife likes on there, and so I think I'll be set to go. Like it'll just be in there somewhere. I'm guessing.
Well, listen, Memorial Day weekend is usually the end of May, and it looks like that's Canada this year, 22nd through the 24th of May. I'm assuming
Ooh.
that's Memorial Day because Monaco isn't until the 5th through the 7th of June. So that
Yeah.
can't be Memorial Day, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's June.
Well, maybe let's try and do something around Canada.
Ooh. That's going to be tough. My daughter turns 1 that
Right. That takes
um
precedent.
which we all know those parties are for adults and not the children. So,
They
um
have non-alcoholic tequila there, I
I
hear.
may or may not be drinking Lewis's
El Mave.
swill.
Now I'm gonna send you a bottle. I'm gonna have a bottle sent to your
Oh, don't
house
do that. Don't
just so
waste
you
your
can
money,
try it
please.
on some ice, and you might
Yeah,
like it.
melt. Yeah, yeah. The directions come. Melt 4 ounces of ice,
Yeah.
and yeah,
Yep.
that's hilarious.
Exactly.
All right, dude. Well, listen. This was fun.
Always.
Obviously, we've got several cars to go. The Haas car, by the way, I guess we didn't even mention. Did you see that livery?
Yes. It's kind of grayish,
Yeah.
right? Or did I just see
Or what? Maybe it was a mock-up. Has that been released?
like
It's
a
been.
mock-up or
Maybe it was a mock-up.
something like
Oh,
that?
you know what else I thought to mention, which was part of the Haas, I think, mock-up, was the yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think it was the Haas car. I think it was released because on the tail, I think it was somewhere towards the back of the car. Travis Matthew, the clothing brand, has a little logo on the back, which for those of you who are golfers, Travis Matthew is like a golf company that's
Yeah.
owned
Yeah,
by
they
Callaway now.
yeah.
I was shocked when I saw the TM on the back of the car.
Look at
It's
that.
crazy.
When are we getting the Standard H logo on one of these bad boys, dude?
I don't know, maybe when Titleist buys me. I
That's
yeah,
good.
I really don't know. I mean, Travis Matthew, like their CEO is a guy who started with his. I actually know him a little bit, and he's like our age, and he started out as their first outside sales rep, like 15, 17 years ago.
Oh, cool. Huh.
And they're based in basically like Huntington Beach, Manhattan Beach. They're in Orange County, not Manhattan Beach. Sorry, Huntington Beach, like Irvine, somewhere in there. I can't remember the exact town it's called, but
Yeah.
yeah, man, I've seen that company grow like a weed, and you know, a lot of stores and stuff like that. But I was like, yeah, I mean, it's a golf apparel brand, which is kind of interesting
It's a big
for
thing.
Haas.
Yeah.
You know,
You know what?
um,
Here's an idea of how we can get onto one of these F1 cars together. I think one of these years a team should like carve the entire car up into like 3 inch by 3 inch squares and then sell each one for like $5,000 or $1,000 or something. If you're a big sponsor, you buy like 15 of them or 20 of them or 100 of them. But if you're like, a little guy like us, like we could buy like a couple
for
and
twenty
put
five
like
hundred
our little
bucks, you and I
logos in
split the
these like
cost.
3 inch by 3 inch squares. And the whole car is just covered in these little squares of like, maybe some ma pa shop somewhere gets their
Wow.
logo up on the thing. I think that would be cool
Wow, what an interesting idea because like honestly, like if they just dedicated one race a season to doing
to
something like
doing so.
that.
Yeah, yeah,
Like like small business Saturdays, you know?
yeah.
Like
Exactly, exactly. Go support your local.
we could literally
It
call
could,
this
yeah,
small business Saturday,
yeah.
and maybe it's just the practice day. God, how
It could be
expensive
one
would
of
that
those.
be to create this one livery for one to practice or
Oh my
something?
gosh, I know. That'd
Or
be
qualifying, I guess it would be, not practice, it'd be qualifying. Small Business Saturday. I'm here. I'm here for it, dude.
Let's
Like
do
that.
it. All right. There's our big idea for the season. All right, man.
let's
I
just-
can't wait to do more of these throughout the season.
Yeah, this will be fun, especially with these new regulations. Like you said, I think the first half of the season is going to be madness and exciting for that reason.
Yeah,
All right, Blake.
definitely.
We'll chat soon, buddy.
All right, sounds good. Take it easy.
All right, brother. See ya. This wraps up this episode of the Standard Age podcast. If you like what you heard, I'd love it if you'd share it with a friend or two. And if you have a moment, please rate and review the show as it helps others discover these episodes. It absolutely helps far more than you realize. Shout out to Jensen Reed and Super Beautiful for the theme track. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.